Hello all, welcome to my channel. Today I will demonstrate you how to develop the application which contains the gallery control, how to put all the images inside the grid view, and whenever user interact with the image, I want to play the music, right? So let's start developing Android Studio project. First of all, you can click on start new Android Studio project. Then you can choose the empty activity. Then on next, you can give the name of your application. Here I am giving the name of my application, that is God image music demo. One you can choose the language Kotlin, and then you can click on the finish. Whenever user select particular image of the god, I want to play the music. So let's start developing Android Studio project. Very simple. First of all, you can move to the design. What control you want? I want to display all the images inside the grid view control. So I'm just moving to my activity main.xml, and here I'm just removing the text view. Then you can click on the show layout decoration, and then here you can take the grid view control. I'm just taking the grid view control over here. You can just move, drag and drop over here, and then now you can define the width of your grid view control. I'm just defining the width, that is match parent, and height, that is wrap content. uh, you can also define the height. For example, I'm just giving right now, that is 200 dp. Then you can rearrange your control, right? Once it is done, now you can add one more control over here. I'm just taking one image view over here, and then you can just in below the grid view control, I'm just giving the image view default image, that is IC launcher background. Then here you can click on the info constraint, and then you can define the width and height of your image view also. So I'm just giving the width and height, that is for example 350 dp, and here you can give the height of this, that is also 350 dp. Once it is done, now you can check that, see, this is your grid view control and this is your image. uh, this grid view control in which I want to display the images, right? Here you can define the height of your grid view control also. Now whenever I want to load all the images over here, whenever user click on that particular image, I want to display the image over here in this image view, right? So I should have the list of images first. So I downloaded some images of god over here, Ganesha, Shiva, Hanuman ji, Ramchandra ji, Gayatri ma, and Sri Krishna. So I'm just copying this images, and just see the carefully the name of my images that I given over here, that is G0, G1, G2, G3, G4, G5, and corresponding audio file I want to put over here. So I'm just copying this in resource drawable. You can just paste your images, and then you can click on OK, and your all the images will be loaded over here. Now I want to bind all my images inside the grid view. So how to do this? Very simple. Here you can click on your main activity dot Kotlin. Here you can define your array. I'm just defining my array, that is variable god is equal to. Now you can define the int array of, right? And here you can define the r dot drawable dot g0, r dot drawable dot g1, r dot drawable dot g2, r dot drawable dot g3, r dot drawable dot g4, r dot drawable dot g5, r dot drawable dot g6. If it is there, I have only 6 images, right? So I'm just assigning all this to my god array. If you have more than 50 and 100 images, then you can just fire the loop, and you can assign all the images into your variable. Now once your image array is loaded over here, you can just set your image view dot set image resource, and you can set the god of 0 over here, and then you can just test your application, it is working fine or not. Whenever user click on particular grid view and then you want to display the image, that is fine. But first I want to load the image of my Lord Ganesha over here. See, the load Ganesha image is available over here. Once it is done, now I want to bind all that particular images into this grid view over here, right? So how to bind the images into the grid view? Very simple. First of all, you need to define the grid view name. So I'm just giving the name of my grid view control over here, that is id grid view. Once you give the name of your grid view control, then you can just write over here, that is grid view dot number of columns, how many columns you want over here. So I'm just setting the number of columns is equal to god dot size. It means if I have 50 images over here, then my grid view contain the 50 columns, right? That you can define over here. Once you set this, now it's a time to bind all the images inside this. How to bind all the images? For that, you need to create a one class. I'm just creating a one class over here, that is inner class, and here you can define the name of your class. I'm just giving the name of my class, that is image adapter here, which will be extended from base adapter. Whenever you call the base adapter, definitely base adapter having the having the for method that you need to implement over here. You can just press alt or enter over here, and it will ask you to implement the for methods: get count, get item id, get item, and get view. Here this base adapter will be called for each view. For example, if I have 50 images, then it will be called 50 times, right? So you need to define all the methods over here. So what I'm doing, see how many times you want to call this image adapter. Here I want to call this up to god size, right? It means if I have 50 image of god, then I want to call it for the 50 times. So here you can simply write return god dot size. It means my god array having the 6 image, so 6 times this class will be called. Then you can define get item id. Here you can simply return your whatever id is, but my input is integer and this function is returning the long, so you can convert it into log. Once it is done, now which item you id, once you define the item id, then which item you want to return, I'm simply writing here return p0. The input come, the same input I want to return. Now for each view, what you want to do, for each view I want to display the image view inside the grid view, and for that, very simple, you can just take one image view over here, iv equal to, and you can call the image view constructor and you can pass the context. But here what we will do, here we will take the input from the user. So I'm just creating one constructor and one variable over here, variable context with the data type context. Once you define this, then you can define the constructor over here, and here in this constructor you can also declare the same variable, that is context, and you can just assign this dot context is equal to input given by the user. Now you can remove the base constructor. Now here I want to display the image view inside the current context, right? And you can return the image view, that's it. But what you want to bind in this image view, so see this p0, this p0 is the parameter which returns the index of your image, right? For example, if you have a 10 image, then it will return the 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So simply you can bind your image view resource. Simply you can write like this: image view dot set image resource god of p0. This p0 is the index. So what happens, see, if it load first time, then the first index, that is the load Ganesha image, will be bind to my image view. Then it will recreate the image view and then recreate reassigning the image id, right? This is the same way you can do this. Now do you want to assign a size and width and height of this image view? If yes, then you can do the same. But before this, I want to set this image adapter to my grid view. So what I'm writing, see, grid view dot adapter is equal to, you can call your image adapter and you can pass your context. I'm just passing the application context. You can just execute your application and you can check that what happens. See, I am binding my image view in current context, and for each position this will be called how many times? it will be called for god dot size. It means it will be called 6 times. 6 image I'm binding inside the grid view. You can just check. See, no image is available over here, right? So now how, what to do? Very simple. You need to define image view dot set layout parameters. Here you can set the layout parameters in which you can pass abs list view is the class dot, you can call the function that is layout parameters, in which you can pass the width and height of your image. I'm just passing the width and height, that is 200 by 200. uh, image view dot set layout parameters is the function. Set layout params is the function, and then you can pass the width and height. Once it is done, now you can check again what happens. See, your image view having the width and height, that is 200 by 200. See, your all the images is available over here, but I want to put some space over here between all the images. I want to give background to this images, that you can do, right? But whenever user click on any image, I want to load that particular image over here. So for that, you can write the code for image view grid view dot set on click listener. So let's write the code for the grid view interaction. So you can just simply write like this: grid view dot set on item click listener is the function. Here I will call the anonymously. So it returns me adapter view, view, image, index, and long parameter, right? So whenever user click on grid view item, I want to load that particular image into my image view. So you can simply call image view dot set image resource, and you can pass god of I. It means this index will be moved to this particular image resource, and you can just check, see, it is working properly or not. Once you done this, you can just check. See, let me click on Hanumanji. You can click on Gayatri Ma. Then you can click on Krishna. Then you can click on Shiva. See, whenever I click on any image, it is loaded over here. But I don't want to do only this. I want to put a background of this all images. So whenever you want to put the background of the images, you can move to your project, then you can move to resource, then you can move to values, and here you can click on styles.xml. Here you can define the style of your background. So I'm just declaring declare stylable. Here in declare stylable, you can define the name of your style. I'm just giving the name of my style, that is my gallery. Then you can define Android, then you can define the attributes over here. Here in attribute, I'm mentioning that attribute name is equal to, here in name is equal to, you can pass Android colon, then you can pass the gallery item background. Once it is done, you can just close your attribute tag. See, so what I did, I defined a one style over here, that is in my gallery. I just given the attribute that is Android colon gallery item background. Then you can set this gallery item background into your image view. How to do this? First of all, you need to retrieve that particular background. So I'm just declaring one variable over here, item background equal to 0. Then you can reinitialize the value of your item background variable. You can just simply first declare the variable a is equal to, you can obtain the style attributes, obtain style attributes. Here you can call r dot stylable dot name of your style, that is my gallery. Once you get this style, your a variable is initialized, right? Now you can initialize your item background is equal to a dot. Now you can just get the resource id, a dot get resource id, and then you can just pass name of your style, r dot stylable, r dot stylable dot my gallery Android gallery item background, and then you can set the default value if it is not found. I'm just setting the default value, that is 0. Once your item background is ready, you can pass item background over here inside your image view. So you can just set image view dot, you can set the background, set background, into bracket you can just pass your item background variable, right? Set background resource is the function. You just need to write here set background resource, and you can pass your item background. You can do the same thing inside your image view also. Image view dot set background resource is the function, and then you can pass your item background. Then you can re-execute your application. Whenever you re-execute your application, what happens? See, the background is initialized to your all the controls. See, whenever you click on any particular image, the image is loaded over here, right? This is the way you can just check. See, now once it is done, now whenever user click on any particular image of the god, I want to play a particular music related to that particular god. Suppose if you want to do like this, you can do that by playing the audio file, and for that you need a audio file. So first of all, you need to create a resource folder to put the audio file. So you can just click on your app, right click, new, you can click on the folder, and then you can add your raw resource folder. In raw resource folder you can put the audio files. What I am doing, see, I have audio files related to my gods. See, I downloaded all the audio file over here. See, this is the audio file of Ganesha. This is the audio file related to Shiva. This is the audio file related to Hanumanji. I want to play respective audio for respective god, right? So very simple, you can just copy this audio file and then you can just paste into your raw folder. Once you paste all this file, you can just check, see, G0, G1, G2, G3. I given the same name of my mp3 file, that same name I given to the my array variable. Right now, whenever you want to play any media file, you need an instance of media player. So I'm just declaring one variable mp colon media player, or you can directly simply write mp is equal to, and you can call the media player constructor. Right now my mp variable is initialized. Now I want to play a media file whenever user click on particular image, right? So I want to play the media file on the grid view interaction. So you can just enclose within the try catch block. Why? Because might be a chance whenever user click on particular image, and might be a chance that particular media player file is not available. So usually always bind all these things inside the try and catch. So I'm just declaring my variable, that is mid. I will get this ID, that is G0, G1, G2, G3. How to get that particular ID? So here you can simply write MID is equal to resources dot. You can get the identifier. Here in identifier you can pass the three argument. What is the name of your media player file? Now what happens? See, if user click on first item, then that item name is that first image. It means it is the first index, that is 0. So I'm just binding the G with I, and I is the position. So if user click on the first position, it will be G0. If user click on the third position, it will be G2. And then it is available in which folder. So you can just pass the name of the folder over here. I'm just passing the name of my folder, that is row. In which package it is. So there is a one function, that is you can call get package name inside the Java, and in Kotlin you just need to write package name. Once your MID is ready, now you can bind it with your MP media player MP instance. You can just call media player dot create function, in which you need to pass the two argument. One is the context. Here you can pass the context, and the second is your media player ID. I'm just passing the media player ID, that is MID. You can just call mp.start. Whenever you do this, what happens? See, if one media player file is running on, and if you click on another image, then it will also start that particular media player file. So what I want to do, I want to stop particular file and then I want to play. But what happens? See, whenever you click over here, see, now I'm clicking over here. What happens? See, to stop this, all these things, whenever user click on particular image, whenever user click on particular image, I want to stop that particular voice, right? What to do in this case? Very simple. You need to stop first media player file if it is playing whenever user click on that particular image, right? So you can just call one if condition over here. If media player dot is playing, then media player dot stop first, then start the another music. If you do like this, what happens? See, my image will be whenever you click on that particular image, my music will be stopped first if it is playing, and then it will start the next image. Let me start. See,
अधरं मधुरं वदनं मधुरं श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भजो मन हर जलप्रवाह पावितस्तरे वक्रतुण्ड महाकाय जलप्रवाह पावितस्तरे केवलं विलम्बिताम्बुजं
so my application is working fine, right? So this is the way you can implement your application, and you can add the number of images over here inside the grid view. Suppose if you think that I want to increase the size of this width and height of this uh, background of that particular grid view, then you can just increase the width and height over here. You can just set 250, 250, and then you can re-execute your application. Now you can check, see, the size of this particular images is increased. So this is the way you can implement your application in your Android. Suppose if you think that whenever user click on that particular image, I want to enlarge this particular image, then you can put the animation over here. You can put the zoom animation, and this image will be enlarged, and then you can play the music in background, right? You can add a number of images over here. Suppose if you want to add the 50 image, then you can just take one uh, you can put here 50 image, or you can take one loop, and you can just execute the loop, and you can assign your god array, and you can put the same 50 mp3 file in your row folder, and you can play the music. So that's it from my side. This is the way you can implement your application. Let me test again. So that's it from my side. If you like this video, then please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you all.